Welcome to today's episode of Between Friends. I'm Eileen Roche, the founder of Designs and Machine Embroidery. And thanks for joining me. Aloha, Judy Warren and Alicia Gentry. It's lovely to have you here. And Judy, you're right. T-shirts are perfect for Hawaii. Oh boy, I bet it's a pretty day in Hawaii. I know a lot of our country is under a blanket of snow, especially up in the Northeast. So let us know where you're watching from. Just give us a shout out in the comments so we know where you are and also to make sure you can hear us. Today's program is pretty exciting. We have a new product to introduce and somewhat of a different take on a technique that I developed several years ago. So I'm excited to share those. But before we do that, I know we'll take a look at some doors. So some of the things that we're going to talk about today are duplicating fashion trends and getting dramatic makeovers with a 5x7 hoop, and then that easy multi-hooping technique that I was telling you about. And of course, getting impressive results with chunky threads. And so I'm wearing a t-shirt that is part of this whole concept. It's the same as the model in that image. So it's 3 hoopings, right, left, and then the center, all done in a 5x7 hoop. So you don't need a great big 8x8 or 9.5 by 9.5 or even larger. You can do this in 3 very easy hoopings. And I'm going to show you all of that today. So while many of you coming, hi Dory, you're down in Naples, good to see you. A. McCarthy, our dear A. McCarthy over in Colleyville, Texas. I know many of you have probably been watching A. McCarthy and some of her online events that she's doing. And Ursula, thanks for joining from the UK at 7 p.m. at night. And Misha, you're in Florida. Welcome. Hi, thanks for joining us today. It is our last broadcast of the year. I can't believe it. We are about to bring 2020 to a close, and what a year it has been. I'm so very grateful for having the opportunity to connect with you every week here on Facebook Live, and your support has been incredible for our company. It's just really been a fabulous year in some ways, right? It's also been a very trying year for all of us, all across the globe, actually. And we're looking forward to a bright 2021. I know many of you are maybe waiting for product from Dime, and I just wanted to let you know that, because the demand has been up, we have added staff to our company. We've added 4 new employees. We have invested in some technology to help our shipping be more efficient. And of course, the global shipping issue is not just Dime. That's everybody. Every service that you try to use is backlogged and so forth. So we appreciate the patience that you have been presenting to our customer service and to our company as you wait for your products to arrive. So on to the fun stuff, right? Let's go ahead and talk about the fun stuff. We already talked about, I told you the 4 things that we're going to talk about today. But first, we're going to talk about doors, because I know so many of you have participated in this program all year long. And hasn't it been fun? I've watched each of you just kind of grow beyond what I ever thought would be possible when I came up with this concept a year ago. So these are my doors, January through here we have August, and all the way to our most recent December gingerbread house, which was so fun. And I know that some people are coming up with some ingenious ways to use it. But before we show that, I want to show these 2 doors, because I thought Gil's door was adorable. She made a little gingerbread girl and put her in the foreground. Adorable. She's got little yellow icing on it and even braids in the little girl's hair. And then Mona Smith on the right-hand side, the fabric that she used for her sky was just a delightful, bright, colorful. I just love it. It's just adorable. But she also noted in her comments on Facebook that she had a stash of buttons that just called out to this gingerbread house. So I thought that was a really great way to use them up. She's got like a little silver tree in the left-hand corner and then a snowflake in the top. So super fun. And look who just checked in, my Stitch and sister, Marie Zeno. Woo woo! Thanks for joining us, Marie. I see some of your cronies from Florida are also joining in, so that's really lovely to see all that. So what else can you do with these doors? Well, look at what Gayla Jorge did. She turned hers into a gift bag. Now that's a really great way to elevate a gift, isn't it? Oh my goodness, that's a keeper. You wouldn't throw that away. So it's just delightful. I don't know what's inside and almost doesn't matter, right? So you most certainly can make these into a quilt. We kind of reviewed this earlier in the year. This is not my finished 12 doors. This is, different renditions of several months, as you can see. And if you do this vertical layout, you'll wind up with a quilt that's 20 by 43, or with some 2-inch borders, or 1-inch borders, it'll be 24 by 47. You could, use a beige sashing, a blue sashing, or you could go with a 4x3 vertical layout, and that would give you different dimensions, 27 by 32. So, kind of find a space in your house where you want to hang this all year long, and then measure that space, and that would be appropriate for it. And of course, different sashing. You could use printed fabric. You could use whatever you desire. But I kind of went with some solids to audition it, because some of those blues and reds are pretty dominant in all the different doors. And of course, then two rows of horizontal layout gives you an entirely different look. So, lots of fun things to do with the doors. And I hope that you'll post what you have done with the doors if it's beyond the regular door that we've been, showcasing in the little frame. If you came up with something else, please post it on Facebook with the hashtag Dime Door, and we'll find it and we'll share it in January. So let's start our whole program, where we are going to talk about, here we have some different sashing of those doors. So first thing up is fashion trends. So let's go ahead and take a look at the fashion trends that I was inspired by in retail. And this is from a catalog called Sundance. And I just love that kind of V-shape, decoration. It's large. Now you're not, this is definitely many multiple hooping. So we're not going to show that large, but hey, it's doable for sure. And then those big chunky stitches, aren't they cool? Kind of a geometric layout. Looks really lovely on that black chiffon. And even velvet, so I was inspired by all of these different looks. But what you're really seeing here is kind of big floral embellishment that translates very nicely to our embroidery machines. So the new collection that I'm talking about is called Boho Shirts Upcycled Knits. And this was, I've have in the past done several collections with Nancy Zeman, and very different look than what we have here, but it was, most certainly a lot of fun to do that with Nancy, and now that she's gone, anyway, it took me a while to attack this again. But hey, why not, right? Because I know that in readywear, this is what we're seeing everywhere. So Boho 1 is this simple t-shirt. So on the right-hand side, that light blue garment t-shirt is just a single hooping of a 5x7 hoop. Then on the left-hand side, I give you another design that's just a little deeper, so that you can do that in a larger hoop. And then the sleeve embellishment is also available in 5x7 hoops. So let's go ahead overhead and take a look at the actual shirt itself. So look how big that sleeve embellishment is. Isn't that awesome? It looks so good on, as you can see. I mean, it's just a great accent at the sleeve. This one was done in a bigger hoop. But here is the 5x7, just as attractive, one single hooping. It's a regular t-shirt, and it's finished with that tricot knit interfacing, and that whole technique is part of the In the Hoop program, the part of each embroidery design. So you'll see as we work through that. So now let's take a look at Boho 2, which is this black t-shirt. Now this design has 2 hoopings for a 5x7 hoop. So you're going to hoop the left area, and then the right, and then finish it with a center. So it's actually 3 hoopings, not 2. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's take a look at that t-shirt. So here we have, it's so colorful. This kind of reminds me of like a folklore, you know, kind of, you know, just super fun. Imagine it on white for the summertime with really bright colors would be also very attractive. This neckline has a slightly different shaping. It has an extra curve in there, and that's very attractive. So our first hooping is right here. Our second hooping is here. And then our third hooping is this area, and that also finishes the neckline. And of course, it has a matching sleeve embellishment. And that's optional. You know, you don't have to do the sleeve. If it's a short sleeve t-shirt that you are redoing, maybe you wouldn't do the decoration on it. But if you're like me, maybe you would. I like them. I think they look really great. And yes, Deborah Ness, Clark, you want to know, does this use the vintage thread? It does use the vintage thread. You're going to love that. And Susan, you think that these are so fun to make that you've even have added a design to the bottom on your capris. Very cool. Very cool. And let's see. Those of you who are members of Craftsy, I have done a t-shirt. I have done class on doing t-shirt transformations. Yep, you're right. I am over on Craftsy. They are under new management, and I'm not real sure, you know, I'm not really that in tune to it. So, but yeah, I have done some of that over there. Will the download set be set up soon? Very soon. It will go live later today, but you know, let's take a little deeper look at it because it's not just going to be downloadable because more is going to come with it. Wait do you see? Super fun. Okay, so our next t-shirt, and this is probably my favorite. This is Boho 3. And this also has 3 different hoopings. It kind of looks like turquoise if you use that color. I don't know, super fun. Let's go over and take a look at that in person. So here we have it. And again, we're going to have our first hooping, our second, well, actually, they're quite small. This is hooping 1 here. And hooping 2, and then this is hooping 3, and with the finish. So that's a nice straight V, unlike the finish that you get here, which is more of a, you know, curved. It's a more open V with a curve up near the ribbing. Very nice. And I love that sleeve embellishment. Just, you know, a bean stitch of that big chunky thread and then that wide satin in the center. These stitch up so fast because we use that chunky thread. Absolutely awesome. And then what design, Trudy wants to know, what design am I wearing? I am wearing Boho 4. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Boho 4 has 2 versions of it. So in the blue shirt there in the PowerPoint slide, is the 5x7 version. So you can see hoop 1 and hoop 2 is identical on both the shirt I'm wearing and the blue shirt. And then the center decoration, and which is the third hooping, is different for the 5x7 and a larger hoop like a 6x10. So for the 5x7, it's just a small oval. And that's because that deep V, you can't, you know, you only have 7 inches. So, you know, and that includes the ribbing on the t-shirt. But hey, that's awesome. It looks great. Let's take a look at it up close. I can't show you the one I'm wearing, but this is close to it. So this is the 5x7 version. So here is our decoration in the 5x7, both sides. And then hooping number 3 is this oval with the finish of the neckline. So that big V-neck is there. Now, we decided to also offer you 2 different sleeve decorations. So you could do a matching, you know, kind of a starburst that matches the 5x7 at the center neck, excuse me. Or you could use this, and either one would be appropriate for a 5x7. So it's this design that is in this area for the 6x10. So you get 2 sleeves for that and 2 different options. And then let's see, could you put some bling inside? Oh, you could put bling, Deborah, anywhere you want, for sure. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, you sure could. And then Misha wants to know, can you do this without cutting the shirt? Yes, you can do this without cutting the shirt. You can, but your decoration would be located away from your finished neckline. So you're going to have it here. Well, in a moment, I'm going to bring over a t-shirt that hasn't been cut yet. But think about that. So my t-shirt would be, it would have my regular ribbed neckline here, and then this would all be open. So would be plain, no decoration there. So I don't know how that would look, but it's worth a try. And if we're upcycling t-shirts, and these are t-shirts that have had, an earlier life, it would be worth the try, right? Nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. Okay, so let's now take a look at what comes with this collection, because it's pretty cool. So you get the 4 different t-shirts, a pack of top stitch needles, and your choice of a package of vintage 15 weight thread. That's a polyester, strong, matte finish thread, and they come in 3 colorways. So we're going to take a look at the thread in a little bit, but let's take a look at the technique on how you do this. So this is the first hooping, and it is, let me just advance here for a second. Okay, so the first hooping is going to give you a placement guide that you'll stitch on your stabilizer, which will be a sticky wash away stabilizer. And we like to use PAL too to align our center front of our t-shirt with the placement guide. And now, if you don't have PAL, you can just do it manually. You can mark the center of your shirt and then feel through the shirt to locate that vertical placement line that's been stitched on the hooped stabilizer and align center to center, and you'll be good to go. That horizontal stitched placement line is what you will use for the top of the neckline, the ribbing itself. So that's how we start that. Now, it kind of looks like this is off because that laser's over to the right-hand side, but that's correct. Then, you're going to nest your shirt above the hoop, and maybe use some painter's tape to tame it, keep it down out of harm's way. And then you'll stitch that design. And it's going to look funny because it's over there in left field, right? And then we hoop a fresh piece of stabilizer, and we stitch color 1 of the second hooping, and the first color is the placement guide. Now you can see the placement guide is located in the left area of the hoop, and that placement guide is designating the center of the t-shirt. So your t-shirt center is marked. You just align that marked t-shirt center with the placement guide and stitch the design. And now you have 2 flanking designs that are absolutely symmetrical and will work just perfectly. Now our third hooping is next. So now our placement guide is dead center, and you will stitch that on the hooped water-soluble sticky stabilizer and place that hoop under PAL if you have a PAL. And we are using our totally tubular hooping station here. It's so awesome. And then we just align the t-shirt center front to that placement guide, making sure that the ribbing is right at the horizontal line of the placement guide, and stitch that design. And there you have it. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that great? And let's see. Now, Misha wants to know, would this work for larger or plus sizes? And would you just use a larger hooping size? Well, you can resize these designs if you so desire. And if you do that, you should resize all the designs the same percentage in that collection. Like if you're going to do Boho 3, then you take all those Boho 3 designs and increase them in that fashion. These designs are actually pretty big. They are a wide expanse. Here, I have a ruler. And you'd be surprised. They look good on larger, endowed people. So that's 8 inches wide. Boho, this garment that we're looking at right now is 8 inches from point to point. The problem of using a bigger hoop to stitch these t-shirts is you can't get that t-shirt, you can't access the t-shirt design area without, having the back fall in or a sleeve getting caught. So These have been designed for XL and large, medium, small. That's what we have, all these different sizes. If you're a software user, Misha, I would suggest that you could do these designs exactly as they were presented to you, as they were designed, and then add bling or add small elements extending the design area right and left of, just more embellishment. That's what I would do. If once you have it finished, you feel, that it's not enough. Okay, Trudy, you want to know, do you open the sleeve? Absolutely, you open the sleeve. So, and we're not, I don't think, going to actually talk about the sleeve here, but I mean, we can. I just don't have samples. So let's see. The last thing you're going to do, right, our third hooping, is add our Fuse So Soft Tricot Knit interfacing over that open area. And there are instructions on how to do that in the collection, most certainly. How big to cut the Tricot Knit interfacing and where to position it on the design, on the t-shirt itself, so that it is captured in the next stitching. And once you do that, now when you lay it on top of the t-shirt, you're actually going to do it glue side up, which is kind of the reverse of what we would expect, right? So we want the rough side. When you feel that Fuse So Soft, it has a smooth side and a rough side. So you definitely want the rough side up. That's the glue side. Let's see. Could the sleeve embellishments be done on a short or 3/4 inch sleeve? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they could be done on a short sleeve because they're not that tall. I think the tallest one here the tallest one I'm probably wearing is 4 inches. You'd be surprised. The length of sleeve embellishment, that's 4 inches. That's pretty big, has big impact. Could it be 8? Yeah, then it would go to my elbow. So anyway, and don't worry about, that's why we're here. Don't worry about the questions. Happy to answer the questions. And Havana, you wanted to know, do you recommend 15 weight instead of the 40 weight? I recommend only the 15 weight thread for this collection because the designs have been digitized for those big chunky threads. If you use a 40 weight thread, your stitches will look a little wimpy. You're not going to get that same impact. And, that's just the way it is. Absolutely. So let's take a look at, okay, so let's go back to PowerPoint so you can see. So we've laid our Tricot Knit interfacing, glue side up, and then we stitch the last color of the design, which is that V-neck opening. So now we take that out of the hoop and it's time to do the transformation. Of course, all those instructions are in the hoop, but I'm going to show you, I have a t-shirt here that is almost done. So all the embroidery is done and so forth. And now it's just time to cut this open. So when I cut it open, I snip right into the shirt in the center. And then with my scissors, I take the tip of the scissors and I'm going to snip into the corner of the V. It's not a true V. It actually has a squared off bottom, and that's so it turns properly. So I'll take my scissors and I'll just snip right into that corner. Of course, you don't want to snip those stitches. That is a terrible thing to occur. So then you kind of get that little triangular point. I hope you can see that on this video. So, but that's what we want to do. Now I'll take the time to snip away this excess like so. And, you probably would spend a little bit more time doing this more carefully. Now, I will tell you some suggestions. It's good to match this thread, that last color, to the t-shirt itself. And because that may, it just helps blend. Now, my glue side is up here. So now we will work this so that I pull this to the back. And actually, at this point, I would turn my t-shirt inside out and pull all of that Tricot Knit interfacing and fuse that in place. At the ribbed edge, we kind of make a little V. We kind of just fold down that ribbed edge and fuse that in place. and then you're good to go. And all those directions are in the collection. So super easy to do. Okay. Let's see. Amisha, you like the shirt that I'm wearing because it's so Christmassy without being totally dedicated to Christmas? I know I can wear this in January and February and March. Woohoo! You'll be seeing me in these shirts. Believe me, I love that. Can we use, oh, Melody, can you use 40 weight for the last part? Absolutely. And in fact, I use 40 weight for the placement guide and then also the finishing that last color. Good question. Yeah, we don't want to use the chunky thread there. It's just not necessary. So let's take a look at the collection that it comes with. I want to show you everything that it comes with because it's really pretty cool. The 4 t-shirts, a pack of Schmetz top stitch needles that you will need for that 15 weight chunky thread, and your choice of 12 spools of thread. So you could go with the pastels. Now, every shirt that you have seen here uses thread from only one collection. It's not, we're not mixing and maxing on the t-shirt, but on each individual t-shirt. I just wanted to make sure that each shirt was just its own collection because you can only pick one box. But you know, that thread is, 12 spools of thread. That's an $83.99 value, and the needles are $5.99. So that's a really great price for today. So there's our pastels. Pastels look great. If you pair it with a white t-shirt, it's just a soft look. If you pair the pastel colors with a dark t-shirt, well, that's very dramatic. So either way, either way is fine. And then the earth tones, the shirt that I'm wearing right now is the earth tones. And, I love them all. They all, the beauty about these thread collections and these embroidery design collection, this boho collection is it's very fast stitching. There's no shading, there's no highlighting. It's just one color, each element of the design. So boom, they stitch in no time. It takes you longer to hoop than it does to stitch. And then brights. So our brights was, let me go get that t-shirt. Is this a bright? I don't think so. Let's see. Oh yeah, this one is definitely the brights, which is so pretty, right? Oh, I guess I could have used the overhead cam, but look how pretty. Isn't that pretty? You can see the parfait pink and the pixie and the purple fabric thread, and of course the blue and the green. So fun. Yeah, so whichever one you like is your choice, but what a great value it is today. Yeah, great value. So now you're going to want to know how you can be successful for doing these t-shirts. So first off, you want to go girly, right? You want to select a t-shirt that has a feminine neckline, the ribbing. So you don't want a heavy neckline like a man's shirt that has a ribbing of an inch. Here, let's go over to the overhead cam, and you can see this ribbing here is only about a ½ inch. That's all that is. So it's very narrow. And that's what I mean by go girly. The size doesn't matter at all. Here we have another version. Also, this is just, a very narrow ribbing. This one's a little bit wider. And you look, here, truth be told, I'll show you what happened. I don't know if you can see because it's black, but the edge of my ribbing is actually here where my thumbnail is traveling across the t-shirt. And, so we did stitch up a little bit onto the ribbing. That would not have happened if we had used a narrow neckline ribbed t-shirt. So go girly on this one, okay? And then go hefty. Now, these chunky threads, they need something to sit on, right? If you use a tissue baby knit, really super lightweight t-shirt, like that yellow one that I was showing, I'm getting some puckering on that. And, I was getting some puckering on that t-shirt. So not so good. This is one of those really, really lightweight t-shirts, perfect for summertime and so forth. But, you just need something with a little bit of body. Misha, you want to know, can you use a t-shirt that does not have ribbing? Well, what is a t-shirt that doesn't have ribbing? I mean, you have to have a finished neckline. So if it had facing, I think you could probably refashion that neckline if it had facing, but I would want to make sure that that facing was attached to the t-shirt itself, that it was fused in place, because when you're doing that embroidery, you wouldn't want shifting layers of fabric, right? Because think about it, your facing would be stuck on the water-soluble stabilizer, the adhesive stabilizer, and the t-shirt itself would be loose. So you say, no, if it has a light hem instead of ribbing, oh, you'd be fine. You'd be good to go. Yeah, no problem. So don't worry about that. Okay. So what else? What's number 3, do you think? Well, use a big eye. That's the top stitch needle. You know, chunky threads, you're going to need a big needle. And we're giving you a pack of 5 of, you know, top notch, right? Top stitch, top notch from Schmetz needles. So you'll enjoy those. But that's the key to success there for sure. And then stand tall, right? Not when you wear it, but when you stitch it. And what I mean by that is position your spool of vintage thread in a vertical fashion, whether that's on a vertical spool pin or a thread stand behind your machine. Or, you know, people have all kinds of specialty tricks where they will use a coffee mug or a glass or something to put that vintage thread in so that you can have it in a vertical position. That will feed properly through your machine. Absolutely. And let's see. Oh, Carol, that's a great question. If a t-shirt is already a V-neck, you would still be fine. I don't know. I really don't know. So, you know, every V-neck is different. You know, that's one, like, because I was looking for t-shirts. So I went into, you know, several big boxes, right? Like, you know, Kohl's and Target and, you know, Walmart and wherever. And V-necks are, you know, some are real wide and short, some are deeper. So if you have a t-shirt that you really want to remake with these designs, I would suggest when you open up the collection in software, print a template of each of those 3 hoopings and audition them on the V-neck. Now, the placement guide may or may be off for you. I'm not sure. So give it a try. You know, templates, you can always override every technique I'm showing you how to do with templates, and then just don't stitch those placement guides. You know, use a template and then you'll be good to go. Are we using regular embroidery bobbin thread? Yes, you are. Regular embroidery bobbin thread in the bobbin. Good question, Melody. Absolutely. So what's our fifth tip is slow down. Slow down the machine. Don't run this specialty thread at its highest speed. You know, just, you know, slow it down. I usually set it at about 600 stitches per minute. And these designs are stitched so quick, you can, you know, you're not going to miss that time for sure. So there's your 5 tips. You know, make sure that you go girly and that you go hefty, you buy hefty, right? So the weight of the t-shirt is important. And then what was number 3? A big eye. And number 4, stand tall. So place that spool of thread in a vertical fashion. And then number 5 is slow down. It'll be ready very soon and you'll be able to wear it. Let's see. Is there a special for the designs only? You have all the vintage threads I got from an in-person event. No, Terry, we're not really doing that at this time because yeah, that's a good question. No. You know, if I was in a store, I could just say, oh, sure, we could do something like that. But, you know, that kind of question, that kind of change involves about 8 different people, and they're not all here to make that happen at this moment. But thank you for asking, for sure. The embroidery collection by itself has a value of $59.99, so it is still a very good value. And then you would have those vintage threads. And, you know, I just bought a new serger and I'm so excited to get playing with it. And I'm really excited about using the 15 weight vintage thread in the loopers of my serger and to see what kind of great finishes I can get on, you know, all kinds of stuff. Because those big loopy, those big chunky threads. I love how they look on, cotton and, like for towels and so forth. So anyway, I'm really excited about that. That ought to be fun. So this year has been quite the year, hasn't it? There are so many reasons to be grateful. I know many people have endured a very tough year, and I am very grateful for the health that I have, the health that my family has been enjoying, and we've been very safe here and have had pretty good success with keeping everyone healthy. We, of course, just like many homes and companies, have many people affected by COVID. But anyway, we are looking forward to 2021, and we most certainly could not have been here without your continued support. And so I'm very grateful for all of you for continuing to support Dime as you do. And, we love what we do. We stitch all the time, every day, if we possibly can. And I'm just grateful for everything you've done. So can we repost the website? Sure, we can do that. And Liza Shorts, you say love Dime. Thank you. We love Dime too. So we're hoping everyone has a really Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we are going to be back January 7th. And we have a whole new program. We're not going to do the doors in 2021. It's going to be pretty similar. It'll be in the hoop 6x10 project, and super excited about that. Oh, and Trudy, hey, that's so nice. Let's see. You said you are glad to have found me again with Angela Wolf. Yeah, tomorrow is the big. I don't know if you all know about the Angela Wolf so social hop 2020, but we've been participating in that. And I know some of you are coming here because of her. And those of you who don't know Angela, you should jump over there and take advantage. You have to go to her page over at Angela Wolf, and you will fill out a form, and then you can be entered into this great giveaway that the winner is announced tomorrow. So let's see. Trying to place an order with the free shipping code. Where do you put the code? I believe you put the code in when you are at checkout. And I'm hoping maybe one of my team members is online here. So we'll just kind of dance around a little bit, Louise Armstrong, and hopefully we can get that to you. But, we have a video coming up of all your doors through 2020. So I hope you'll hang in and watch, because we're super excited to show you that. It's several minutes long, and it is a conglomeration of all the beautiful doors, all the way from January through December. And yes, and thank you, Cindy King. Thank you for bringing that up. I meant to include that. You found a Dime from OML Embroidery, and we were very grateful to Sue Brown at OML Embroidery. They've been a really fun part. I wouldn't call it a partnership, but it's really been a great friendship. Every Thursday, the last Thursday of the month, when I enter, when I reveal the door, that following Saturday, Sue has been hosting a sew along of that project, which has just been super fun. And then her and her husband Don have been offering little embellishments that you can add to your doors. So that's just been great. Okay, so the free shipping code is entered at checkout in the cart. Yep, absolutely. And Jean, thank you for these shows. Yes, well, you're welcome. It's been, keep all of our sanity, right? It's helped me stay focused, and it's been a gift to be able to do this. And, we started these 2 years ago now. So I was very grateful that we had a year of preparation of doing these on a continuous basis, so that, we were pretty good at it. And then when COVID hit, it was a good thing, because, boy, it got to be very, very important. Very, very important. And Misha said she's going to continue with the 2021 project. I love that. Sue Brown over at OML will continue. That's awesome. And Judy Warren, I love you too. Thank you so much. I'm not going to try to pronounce all those Hawaiian words, but I do know Mahala. So, and boy, I wish I was over there. Anyway, that's okay. We're happy here in Texas, right? So thank you all. And, jump over to Angela Wolf. You can take advantage of that really fun sew hop. And you like my matching earrings. Well, my earring collection, my jewelry collection, and the hardware is a giveaway on Angela Wolf tomorrow. So fill that out. Okay, well, thank you all for joining me. It's been such a great year. And, you know, stay well, stay healthy, and good tidings to you. And we'll see you January 7th, 2021. Yay!